Yo guys, this is your artist Tolg and welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you how to draw Gogeta as a Super Saiyan 4 Full Body. This will be a very long and detailed tutorial as usual, so you can come back to this video again and again until you're able to draw Gogeta with no problem. I will use this image of Gogeta which I found on Google. I will not copy it 100%. I will change the face, add some more muscle definition, and I will keep the legs a little more apart. I will also do a different style of inking and a way better coloring, but you will see that in the drawing today. Let's talk about the materials before we start. As we will use Copic markers for the coloring, we will need Copic or blending paper. I like to use Copic paper, which is 250 gram thick. The quality is amazing. The pencil I am using is from Faber Castell with the strength of 2B. An eraser stick if you want to erase very small details, also from Faber Castell. Another eraser stick. This one is a little thicker. It's great for bigger areas. And after I'm done with the inking, I will use this big eraser, also from Faber Castell. But you don't need 3 different eraser guys. One is totally fine. This is just my personal taste. And as many of you are asking me about this metal thing on my pencil, it's just a pencil extension. That looks great. Now we will draw his eyes. The shape of Dragonball Z eyes are edgy. You actually need only 3 lines for them. Just make sure that you draw the outer part of the eyes thicker than usual, because the Super Saiyan 4 transformation is designed that way. Some wrinkles on his forehead, and then we can add the iris and the pupils into the eyes. Awesome! Now this spiky nose, and just under the nose we will draw his mouth with a small curved line. After that, we will draw his jaw, and pay attention that you keep the shape of the face in between the guidelines. Just like that. Now we will draw the marks under the eyes to complete the face. Okay, great. So Gogeta has one more hair strand on his face on each side, but these are smaller. The ears are under the hair strands, so they can be seen very little. I like to draw the traps along with the jaw. That way the traps fit perfectly to the body. Okay, he already looks really badass. Now we will move on to the hair. First I will draw just the shape of his hair very lightly, so wait until I'm done with the shape. Then you can start drawing the shape as well. That way it's easier to keep the proportions right. So guys, that's how the hair will look like. Now you can follow the steps. and I will give the hair more detailed lines now. Perfect. And when you're ready, we can add the famous hairlines to the hair. Just draw some random lines along with the hair strands, but don't overdo it. Watch me how I do it and follow my steps. Okay, great. The head of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 is now complete and it looks amazing. Now we can move on to the upper body. So we will start with the two big hair strands which are falling down over the front. Just like that. Then we will move on to the chest. We will draw two big curved lines for his upper chest. Then we will add the definition to his neck. Perfect. We will make the chest more edgy on the lower part. Now we will add some light lines on the middle chest to give it more definition. Okay, the chest looks great. Let's move on to the abs. The abs of the Super Saiyan 4 has a little different shape. First, we will draw a triangle-like shape, and in there we will add the definition to the abs and give them the muscle form. Okay, cool. Now under the hair strands, we can see a part of the collar of the jacket. But before we start drawing the jacket, let's finish the ab area. As you can see, I always draw the shape of the specific area first. That makes it way easier for us to draw and to keep the proportions right. So the jacket starts right under the collar, and the fusion jacket is actually very short, so pay attention to that. And before I start to add more detailed lines, I always erase the unnecessary pencil stuff first, just keeping it as clean as possible. So, the collar looks like a little out of shape, so draw it a little curved and add some lines into it. The shoulder pads are of the same shape as the collar, a little out of shape and with some wrinkles around it. Just like that, guys. Now we will draw the rest of his hair behind his back, and then we are almost done with the upper body. And before we move on to the arms, I will draw the jacket a little wider. It's a bit too thin for my taste. Now we will draw just the shape of the belt, so we can place the hands perfectly to the hips. So the hands are shaped into a fist and are placed on the hips. Again, we will just draw the shape of the fists and of the entire arms first, before adding any details. can use a ruler again to make sure that you are keeping the proportions right. Okay, that looks great. Now we can start adding some details. Let's start with the fist. Let's draw the fist a little edgy at the bottom and make sure that the bones are visible. Then we will move on to the forearm. On the wrist, you can see some fur. Now we will add some details to the fist to give it more definition. Very good. Then we will draw the shape of his forearm. Just above the fur on the wrist, we will draw the wristband of Gogeta. The band sits very tight and has a lot of wrinkles. And as usual, we will erase the unnecessary lines after adding the details. Okay, great. Now we can draw the shape of his muscles, like the bicep, shoulder and tricep. Then we will give the muscles some more definition. I will add the fur to the arms while doing the inking. For now, I will keep it like that. And this is how the finished arm looks like, guys. We will do the exact same process for the other arm. You can do it, so let's go. Perfect, we are done with the upper body and Gogeta looks like a real badass. Let's add the details to the belt and then we will move on to the legs. I will draw just some random lines along the belt, but make sure that they are not too identical. So draw some longer and some smaller lines here and there. Just follow my steps. Just like that. Let's move on to the lower body. Well, as I said, I will draw the legs a little apart, different as in the image I showed you in the beginning. Otherwise, I cannot fit it into this paper sheet. My drawing style is just like that. And as usual, we will draw the shape of the legs and the pants first. Again, you can use a ruler to keep the proportions perfectly right. The pants of Gogeta is very wide and loose, so we will draw it that way. And as you're done with the shape, you can start adding the details into the pants. But before that, let's draw the shape of the feet as well, so it's complete. So, The pants has a lot of wrinkles, therefore we need to add a lot of various lines into it. But if you're used to draw Dragon Ball Z characters, you already know that. Just watch how I do it and follow my steps. And as you can see, the pants are getting even wider towards the feet. So guys, and as we are done with adding the details, we will erase all the unnecessary lines. And when you're happy with the result, you can move on to the other leg. And as you can tell, it's the same process. You can do it, so let's go. Perfect, we are done with the pants and almost done with the entire sketch. Let's move on to the feet. First, we will give it a more detailed shape. Then we will add the details into the bandages on the lower leg. It's the exact same process as we did for the belt.
I was walking down the street and you were there staring at me.
The shoes actually have no further details. They just have a thin line on the sole.
With you it'd be easy. I've touched your soul and then I knew you'd run away with me.
And that's it. Same process on the other side.
Want is to lay down with me. I will be the one, I will be the one, I will be the one. I will be the one, I will be the one, I will be the one.
Okay guys, we're almost there. Now we will add the big loop to the belt. The note is on the side of the belt. just like that. Then we will draw the long loop behind his leg. It's fluttering in the air, so make sure that it looks more wavy. That looks good. Now to finish up Gogeta, we will give him the famous Saiyan tail. And as you know by now, we will draw the shape first. The end of the tail is a bit thicker than the rest of it. The tail is also behind Gogeta. But on the tail, I will add the fur, just to show you how it will look with the fur. The arms will look just like that when we added the fur. Perfect. And after adding the details into the tail, we will erase all the unnecessary lines one last time.
And then I knew you'd run away with me. I'm in your thoughts, and all you want is to lay down with me. I will be the one, I will be the one, I will be the one. I will be the one, I will be the one, I will be the one for you.
So guys, we did it. Full body Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think it looks amazing. And to be honest here, it wasn't that easy. But drawing full body characters is always way more difficult than drawing just upper body characters. But let's be real here, full body Saiyans are looking way cooler. And with my tutorials, you will be able to draw them with no problem. If you have any more questions on the sketching, let me know them down below in the comments, guys. And here you can see all the materials we used so far. They are also listed in the description box below. Now we can move on to the inking, guys. Let's go! So, And for the inking, I like to use a very thin pen. This time I will use a multiliner from Copic with just the 0.05mm strength. I will show you a small part in real time now, so you can clearly see how I do the inking. And as you can see, there is not a big secret. I just follow the lines with the pen, but very focused and slow. As for the fur on the arms, we will make it look hairy. Therefore, we will not ink the arms with straight lines, rather with small but spiky details, just as I show you here. That way the arms will look like they are covered with fur. Of course, you can move the paper as much as you want. Always keep your hand in a comfortable position during the entire inking process. That way you will avoid mistakes. Take your time, there is no reason to rush while inking. And if you follow me for a while, you know that I always do a second layer of ink, but we will come to that soon. Let's finish the first layer of ink and then let's take a look at Gogeta. Perfect, the inking was successful. It's clean and smooth. Now we will erase all the pencil lines. Therefore, I will use my bigger eraser. And while erasing, make sure that you do it slow and controlled. There is nothing dumber than crumbling the paper while erasing. That's one reason why I use thicker paper, because it's way harder to crumble thick paper than normal thinner paper. And as we're done with the erasing, I like to use the eraser stick to clean up the smaller areas. Perfect, everything is fine and we can continue with the second layer of ink. In fact, you don't have to add the thicker lines to your drawing if you don't want to. This is just my personal art style and I love to do my inking that way. If you're fine with the traditional way of inking, you can skip that part to the coloring. For those who want to learn how to do the thicker lines, here we go. We will use the same 0.05mm multiliner from Copic and we will go over almost every line. I will show you a small part in real time again, which will make it easier for you to copy the way I do it. And as you can see, I use the pen very lightly and even more controlled as for the first layer of ink. That's because if you overdo it with the thicker lines, your drawing will look bad and very childish. But if you do it correct, your art will be very unique and like a mix of anime and comic. I just love it like that. last few details on the fur, and then we are done with the inking. Let's take a look at the result. And as I told you, it looks absolutely amazing. That's why I love these thicker lines. It looks just different. Okay guys, the next step is accomplished. Now we are ready to give Gogeta some color. But before we continue with the coloring, tell me in the comments if my English has improved since my first tutorial. It was this video right here, check that out and tell me in the comments below. Okay, let's get the Copic markers out. So, the Copic markers we need for this drawing are ready. Let me give you some information about them. These are Copic Ciao markers. These are alcohol-based markers, which allows you to blend them perfectly. I tried out many different markers, but honestly, these are the best ones. It's no coincidence that almost every artist are using them. Of course, they are not cheap, but for me, they are worth the price. And as you can see, they have two tips. One tip is thinner, which I use 99% of the time, and the other side is thicker. So if you want to color big areas, the thicker tip would be the better choice. And the most cool thing about these markers is that you can refill them. And this is how a Copic various ink looks like. So actually, if you get yourself a Copic Ciao marker and the matching various ink, the marker will last you forever. Well, at least until you use all of the various ink. But I can tell you from experience, these inks will last you easily for a year. So I think they are worth the price. But anyways, let's start the coloring. We will start with coloring the skin of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. Therefore we need 3 different color tones, which are E00, R02 and E08. I always start with the lightest color tone. I will show you the entire face coloring in real time, so you will have it very easy to follow. I will pretend that the light is shining from the left, which will make the left side of Gogeta lighter than his right side. Therefore I like to leave some white parts on the left side of the face. Well, left side from our point of view. And pay attention that you don't paint over the ink with a light color tone. There is a risk to smear. And as you're done with covering the face, we will use R02 to add some shading. We will cover almost the entire right side of the face with that color tone. Okay, great. Now we will use E08 to add some small shading along the right side of the face. Perfect. To finish up the skin, we will use the color tones we used so far to blend the colors perfectly together. As this part is in real time, you will see exactly what I mean. Okay guys, we are done with coloring the skin on the face of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. This is how I do it, and this is how we will do it on the entire skin. I will speed up the rest of the skin coloring. Remember, the light is shining from the left, so the right side of Gogeta will have more shades. You can do it, so let's go! Perfect, the skin looks amazing. Last touch and then we will continue with the eyes. For the eyes, we will use the blue tone BG15. I like to use a white gel pen to add a white dot on each iris. That little detail will make a huge difference on the overall look. Now we will use C3 to add little shades to the eyes. Okay, great. Then we need the color tone E08 to cover the eyebrows with. That's also the main color tone which we will need for the hair. Okay, now I will show you how to color the hair of Gogeta. Therefore, we need 4 different color tones, which are E11, E08, R59 and E29. We will color this hair strand in real time, so you can comprehend the coloring process better. Again, the light is shining from the left, which will leave lighter parts on the left side of the hair. And as I said before, the main color for the hair is E08. Then we will color the white parts with E11. After that, we will use R59 to give the hair some shading. To do the shading, I like to use the hair lines. Perfect. Now we will blend the colors to increase the contrast. Therefore, we will use the same color tones as before. And that's how we do it, guys. We will use the same order of color tones to color the entire hair. I will speed it up from here, but you know the process now. You can do it, so let's go! we are done with the hair. And it looks great, right? I am really happy with it so far. But why does Gogeta has this hair color? If you know the answer, let me know that down below. And now we will continue with the fusion jacket. In fact, we will start with the collar and the shoulder pads. Therefore we need 3 different color tones, which are Y21, Y28 and W7. And as you can tell, I will color one shoulder pad in real time again. We will start with the lightest color tone, which is Y21. We will leave some big white parts on the shoulder pad, which will give it a shiny look. Then we will add some shading with Y28. Okay, great. After that, we will use the darkest color tone, which is W7, to give it more contrast. Just like that. Now we will blend the colors nicely and finish up the shoulder pad. And that's how you do it, guys. Same process for the rest. Let's do it! Comes to life, guys. Now we need another 3 color tones for the rest of the jacket. Well, on some pictures the jacket is more blue, but in other pictures it's more like black. I choose a darker version. Therefore we need 3 different color tones, which are BV31, BV23 and BV29. I start with BV23 here, but I will cover almost the entire jacket with BV29 later, so I will skip that part right here. So as you can see, I changed my mind and I decided to make the jacket darker, which looks way better. I leave a small light part on the jacket, which I colored with BV23. Just like that. And I will do the same thing on the other side, and I will use the same color tones BV23 and BV29 to color the wristbands too. Yes, amazing. Now to the tricky thing, the fur. That's the most difficult part to color here. We need another 3 color tones here, which are E95, R59 and E29. Of course, I will show you another part in real time. We will start with R59. The tricky thing here is that we will use the marker like a brush. We will just use the tip of the marker. To give the fur the hairy look, we need to use the marker very lightly and, as I said, like a brush. Leave some white areas along the fur so we can color them with E95. Now we will use E29 to add some shading and to increase the contrast. Use this color tone like you're brushing as well. After that, we will use R59 again to blend the colors and to increase the look of the fur. To explain the process is a bit difficult, so just watch me how I do it and apply it on your drawing.
Wow.
it looks perfect. It really does look hairy, just how we want it. But now to give it even more detail, we will use a black colored pencil. We will just do some more shading along with the darker parts of the fur. This small detail will make a big difference on the overall look, especially on the right arm, which is darker because of the lightning.
Wow.
Perfect, now we're done with the upper body of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. I think we did very well so far and we are ready to continue with the lower body. So let's go. Okay, so as the tail has the same colors like the fur, we will continue with the tail. We will use the color tone R59 and we will use the same brush-like technique.
Wow.
Perfect, the fur on the tail looks exactly like the fur on the upper body. We finished the hardest part on the coloring, guys. Now we can move on to the easy stuff. Let's continue with the pants. We need 4 different gray tones for it. C0, C3, C5 and C7. We will start with C3. We will use the wrinkles of the pants to add the shading. And remember, the left leg will be way lighter than the right leg. The next darker gray tone is C5. Use this color tone even closer to the wrinkles. Then we will do some blending with C3. To increase the contrast of the shading, we will use C7, but more lightly along the wrinkles. And this is how we color the entire left leg of Gogeta. Same order of colors, but we will add the gray tone C0 to cover the entire white part of the pants, which you will see in the process. You can do it, so let's go. That looks very good, guys. Now we will color the other leg with the same color tones, but this leg will have way more darker shades. Therefore, we will use C3 to color almost the entire leg with. After that, we will use C5 to add some big shading more on the right side of the right leg. Just like that. Now use C7 to add some even darker shades along with the wrinkles of the pants. we're done with that, we will blend the colors perfectly by using the same color tones as before. white part of the shoe will be colored with two different gray tones, which are C5 and C7, and the line on the sole will be colored with C3. And that's it guys, same process on the other shoe and then we are finally done. What a long video, but it has come to an end. Let's take a look at what we have produced. And here he is. Gogeta is a Super Saiyan 4, full colored and full body, with a powerful stand and with an epic look. Let's sign this piece of art like a real artist and then we can call this done. I have to say that I am really happy with the result. I think I explained everything pretty well and I'm sure that you have learned something from this video. This was a hell of work guys, you can imagine. So if you liked this drawing and if it was helpful for you, give this video a big thumb up. If we reach 1000 likes, I will do another tutorial like this one on another character of your choice. You can vote for your favorite character right here in the info card. And if you have any other character in mind, let me know that down below in the comments. And share this video with a friend who needs this tutorial more than anything. That way you will also support my channel. And of course, subscribe if you're new on my channel, so you will not miss a single video from now and get notified every time I upload a new video. That's it for today guys. Thank you for watching and I'll see you very soon. Until then, stay healthy, stay fit, be a good person, be you, and always remember, you are the designer of your own life.